And now, I'd like to introduce your Executive Director of General Operations and past NRA President, Kayne Robinson.
NRA has a strong connection with police, with law enforcement. Leaders of law enforcement have been important leaders of National Rifle Association. I need to mention a few. Some are active in their agencies, some have retired. All have given huge police experience to NRA. Here's a sample of NRA board members with law enforcement careers. Bill Allen, Inspector, Shelby County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department. Bill Carter, Associate Chief, United States Border Patrol. Bill Jordan, Assistant Chief of the Border Patrol. Carl Rowan Jr., Special Agent, FBI. Clell Bowdler, Iowa State Trooper. Dennis Willing, Lieutenant, Michigan State Police. Dwight Van Horn, Sergeant, Los Angeles County Sheriff. Harry Reeves, Inspector, Detroit Police. Jay Prince, Sheriff, Hamilton County, Montana. Joaquin Jackson, Sergeant, Texas Rangers. Lance Olson, Detective, Marengo, Iowa Police Department. Robert Sanders, Law Enforcement Executive, Department of Treasury. Tom Gaines, Assistant Chief, Border Patrol. John Burtt, Detective, Riverside, California Police. Current NRA staff members: Mark Lipp, Deputy Chief, Fairfax, Virginia Police. Glen Hoyer, Captain, Lexington County, South Carolina Sheriff. Past presidents of NRA with long police careers: President and Executive Vice President Harlon Carter, Chief of the United States Border Patrol. President Keith Gaffaney, Los Angeles Police Department. President John Layton, Chief of Police, Washington, D.C. President John Schooley, Sheriff, Denver County, Colorado. President John Sigler, Captain, Dover, Delaware Police. I thought you'd like that one. Each of these have been frontline in the action, both as cops and as leaders of NRA. My predecessor in this job, Craig Sandler, a famous police chief from New Hampshire, sitting right out here in front of me. Each will tell you a surprising but perfectly logical truth. Once you have been targeted as the prey of a vicious criminal for a robbery, a rape, a home invasion, a carjacking, any vicious attack, only you can protect you. Let's look at self-defense quickly. What do we know for sure? You will almost certainly be alone or very vulnerable when the attack comes. No police officer will be standing by your side. Even if you manage to call, the attack will likely be over before help arrives. In my 33 years as a police officer, through all ranks, I can tell you that it's rare that a police officer is able to get to an attack in progress before it's over. Yes, in some cases, an officer may be able to catch the crook as he flees the scene. And yes, sometimes with good patrol technique, you can catch a burglar breaking into a business. Once in a blue moon, you happen to be right next to a crime in progress and hear the screams, but that's very rare. Sometimes an officer will get in a desperate fight with the crook, perhaps even a gunfight at the final capture. But that's not much hope for the victim to live on. The victim is suffering the attack now, in real time, all alone. Now, don't get me wrong, we're proud of top quality American law enforcement, of the ability of police to investigate, use scientific methods, identify the crook that did the crime, expose themselves to terrible danger, arrest and lock his butt up, and help businesses and residents make it harder for crooks to break in. All of these suppress crime. All of these help reduce your chances of becoming a victim. But once you've been personally picked as a target, the police won't know till it's over, till you crawl to the phone and call dispatch, or till your friends and neighbors find your battered body. You may be surprised to know that police solve only about 20% of major crimes. That's 20%. That means that in far more than 80% of major crimes, police can't be there in time to stop the attack. Two people will always be there, though: you and the crook. Only you will have any real possibility of protecting you. These vicious crimes take only minutes. There's usually no time to call police, no time for police radio dispatch to find an available officer, no time for the officer to find your address and get to where you are. Only you, all alone. As crazy as it sounds, in many countries, serious self-defense is itself illegal. And those countries have also banned guns, so only the crooks are armed. Both the means and the right are gone forever. Well, not here, not yet. NRA is your vital partner in self-defense. Your NRA has protected both your guns and your right to use them to defend yourself, your family, and your home, which is truly your castle. But there's more. Your NRA didn't stop there. Americans want and need to know the very best strategy and tactics to give them the best chance of surviving when an assault comes. NRA studies thousands of attacks on innocent victims, those where the victim was helpless and suffered injury or death, and those where the victim was successful in defeating or driving away the thug. Real cases to develop real, practical self-defense. What actually works and what doesn't. 67,000 NRA instructors are on the job every day with cutting-edge techniques. But after all this danger, bureaucrats claim you can't protect yourself. You aren't competent. Now, these are the same supposedly smart bureaucrats whose decisions have bankrupted our major cities. Well, they're wrong again. Effective self-defense is a right, even a duty, and it's practical for everyone. Consider these real, actual examples. Gary Warbleski uses a wheelchair, takes his safety seriously. A masked man with a history of violent arrests leapt from the bushes and knocked over Warbleski's chair. He said, "He hit the door and I went tumbling over and just pulled my gun and started firing. The intruder was killed. His accomplice fled the scene." A great-grandmother and 5 of her relatives were at a motel when an armed robber stormed their room. The grandmother got to her .357 Magnum and shot the robber, stumbled outside, and died. Real case. You'll like this one. A man dressed like a ninja invaded Bradley Harville's home and demanded money and shot him with a stun gun.